Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Perfect. Good morning, Ayo.
TGIF.
Oh, yes, it is TGIF.
Okay.
It is. Well, good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning? Perfect. Thank God it's Friday. Well, good morning to you, viewers. As the nationwide End Bad Governance protest enters day 2, there's apprehension across the country, especially as demonstrators spiraled out of control in parts of the country on day 1, including Borno, Yobe, and Kano states, where authorities have declared a 24-hour curfew after private and public properties were looted in chaotic scenes that also saw many vehicles burned.
We need forces here. We need forces here. We need forces here. Mopo soldiers, please, attention, please. Mopo soldiers, attention, please. They're burning all the local secretariat down. They're burning it down. They're burning it down. They're burning it down. Ana tafiya sa ƴan zanga-zanga ga ruwan zafi. Ga ruwan zafi, ruwan zafi, ruwan zafi. Ruwan zafi, ruwan zafi, ruwan zafi. Ruwan zafi, ruwan zafi a gidan gwamnatin jihar Kano. Ruwan zafi inda ga wani sanya launa a ƙasa. Yes.
Well, in Niger State, at least 6 people are now feared dead. The police say they arrested 11 armed hoodlums who set fire to a government building after looting it, while the police fired tear gas to disperse defiant protesters who attempted to gather at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory.
What all started like a peaceful protest have now become what you have seen. Different canisters of tear gas being fired just by the side of the Federal Secretariat. And it's becoming something very serious between the people here.
These were horrific scenes. Meanwhile, as protesters scampered for safety, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, was at an event where he presented the staff of office to 4 newly appointed graded chiefs in the territory. Well, during the event, Wike said that the federal government is now open to having a dialogue with the protesters. He also commended the protesters in the FCT for not being violent and urged them to resist those who want to destroy the nation.
Let me take this opportunity to commend the people, the youth of Abuja, for not being violent and not being trying to listen to our people. You have said severally that it is better to dialogue, it is better to sit down and iron out issues with government. I want you to continue with that peace process, and he who makes peace will at the end of the day enjoy the dividend of peace. I want to commend you and still talk to our people, appeal to them that we are still ready to sit down and talk with them and dialogue with them and iron out the gray areas.
All right. I mean, it's good to hear the minister now, speak about dialogue. Earlier, you guys spoke with the lawyer and activist Kingdom Okere, who actually accused the federal government of unleashing mayhem in Abuja. He was there, so he can attest to what happened yesterday, because for what we know, the protests were supposed to be peaceful until these hoodlums attacked. Well, in Kaduna State, the peaceful protest turned violent after a group of hoodlums set ablaze the headquarters of the state's traffic law enforcement agency. They also looted property at the agency, as well as private residents around the area. The governor of the state, Uba Sani, who was on our nightly news program Newsnight, highlighted why violence prevails in northern states, saying that 70% of northerners are living below poverty line, and out of the 18.3 million Nigerian children that are out of school, 70% of them are in northern Nigeria, while 60% of northerners are financially excluded. He also called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the nation and also emphasized the need to cut the cost of governance.
With the support of our commissioners, advisors, and everyone working with me, the first thing we did was cutting cost of governance. As we were speaking, no commissioner in Kaduna have gotten a new car. We have not bought a single vehicle for commissioners. We have not bought a single vehicle for myself as a governor. Deputy governor do not have a single vehicle. All our advisors, nobody have a vehicle. That's number one. Every commissioner in Kaduna today is getting something within the region of 400 to 300,000 with all the allowances and everything, as against 1.7 million. They agreed without any problem.
I must say, kudos to the Kaduna State governor. I mean, this is what the protesters are advocating for, cutting the cost of governance. And he actually made a very valid point, which is the reason why the northern states are in the situation that they are now. As we know, we saw Borno, where a terrorist actually ignited a bomb and killed 16 people. We saw in Gombe, we saw in Niger, there's a curfew in Kano State. And he made those points, which is northern states have to all come together to find a way to improve their lives. The government have to look into the northern states, especially the fact that he also said, 70% are financially excluded. So when they are sharing all these palliatives, are they going to go to the northern states? How are they going to get it if they are unbanked? And these are the questions. I don't know, I'd like your thought on that before I take this particular story, Ayo.
The governor of Kaduna State has spoken well.
Yeah.
In fact, yesterday when we were speaking to Nisi Gabriel, our correspondent in Kaduna, he had actually said that because it was quite peaceful at the time, that he felt like the efforts made by the governor was what was responsible for a number of people not coming out. But of course, that changed in the course of the day. He's hitting the right notes. And when you think of the fact that Kaduna State, Kano State, Gombe, states in the north have the highest number of people who are financially excluded, who are out of school. Yet these people, when they protest, are ignorant enough to go out and destroy state property or things that are supposed to help them, like the in ICT center in Kano State that was destroyed. Then you understand that this issue that we have is a deep problem. At the end of the day, we are one Nigeria. If one part of the nation is suffering in poverty, it would affect the rest of the country. It would affect the rest of the nation. So this is a clarion call for more investment to be made in the northern parts of Nigeria. That's more investment, more youth development, and building our schools so that people can have a better chance at life.
Absolutely, you said it right. Well, meanwhile, former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has debunked a viral video showing him allegedly addressing protesters in Abuja on Thursday during the nationwide protest while speaking from his residence in Onitsha. Obi urged Nigerians to disregard the video, saying that he has been in his home state since Wednesday. Or reacting to the nationwide protest, Peter Obi urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the nation.
You can see I'm here in Onitsha. So I shouldn't have, there's no way I could have been in Onitsha and Abuja simultaneously. I've been in Onitsha here, observing what is happening and everything. I first must thank the protesters around Anambra that has been peaceful. And I believe to most parts of Nigeria it's been peaceful. My message first is what I said to the protesters, that their demand, which is legitimate, must be within the law. We must do whatever we do. As a law-abiding citizen who has always respected the rule of law, I want people to stay within the law even when they make strongly their legitimate demand, which everybody can see in the nation today. And my appeal at this period is for the president to address the nation. He is the person that is elected. He is the person who is holding the mandate of the people. At times like this, it's time for him to show leadership and address the nation. You can see that's what happened in Kenya. Even when the president was just accused of flying in an expensive chartered flight, you address the nation. Doing so through your aides or appointees is not the same thing. Because we didn't elect those people. We elected him. So he should address the nation.
We did see, this is what we've been advocating here on the show, Rufai, but we did see that viral video yesterday where it appeared that, Peter Obi was in Abuja, speaking with the protesters, but he has debunked this story that he's in Onitsha, like he said. But really quickly, Rufai, the point he made about, President Tinubu addressing the nation, which is such a critical point.
We must be careful about fake news. We must be careful about people who are sharing old videos. And that's why please independently verify things from many sources before you're able to put it out there. Secondly, that's what we've been calling for since last 2 weeks. In fact, I even muted the idea of a Twitter Spaces. Anything we must do at a time of critical crisis, the president must show leadership, must address the nation. I think that I've told the story of General de Gaulle ad nauseum here. When France had this protest in '68 called Soissons Wheat, and the protesters was about storming the Élysée Palace, General de Gaulle ran away. You know what he said? He said, I will not allow on my watch French blood to be spilled. Because he knew if he had stayed at the palace, the police and the authorities would have resisted the protest and it would have led to loss of life. So please, President Tinubu, it's not a stance of weakness. You are not weak if you come out there and say, fellow Nigerians, we'll listen to you.
Yes.
Talk to the people, talk to the protesters. Say you empathize with them, say you feel their pain. Say you are going to cut cost of governance.
Absolutely.
Say these are the modalities you will do to ensure things get better for people. Also call them to reason with you. They will reason with you. Nigerians are not hard-hearted. And also condemn everybody that is trying to turn this into ethnic bigotry or divisiveness. It's not about tribe. It's about all of us facing this. And tell everybody to calm down and offer your condolences to life lost.
Absolutely.
And say, how can we rally around and build the nation forward? If you say these words, people get out of the streets.
All right.
They want to hear you.
Absolutely. We certainly do need to hear from our president. But we now cross over live to Port Harcourt, River State, where Andy Omano is on standby. Good morning, Andy. Can you give us the situation on ground there?
Okay. It's a little bit calmer here, Ayo, up until about 45 minutes ago, when we got wind of the fact that some of the protesters yesterday are regrouping, and we needed to rush to the spot. Where I am talking from now is directly in front of the Federal Secretariat in Port Harcourt. The Federal Secretariat in Port Harcourt is sandwiched in between the popular Rumola bus stop and water lines on the Aba-Port Harcourt highway. It's a major entrance way to Port Harcourt. As I speak with you right now, both sides of this 4-lane road is cordoned off. What that means is vehicular traffic is not allowed at all. The protesters are growing in their numbers. When we got in here about 30 minutes ago, they were not up to 500, but as I speak, I think they are surging, going to 700, and we got information that more are coming from different parts of Port Harcourt. They have one message. They want Mr. President to address the nation and tell the nation what his administration intends to do concerning the hardship being experienced across board. This is their message. As we were here a couple of minutes ago, a convoy of security operative policemen drove past the place, and the message is, we are hungry. We are hungry. We needed the right thing to be done so that Nigerians can eke out a living on their own and be able to fend for themselves and their immediate family. They are still regrouping. We got information also that there is likely going to be another one at Ozuoba. Ozuoba is the way leading to Shoba, the University of Port Harcourt community. And so, as the situation unfolds, we'll definitely let the live studio of Arise News know what is happening here in Port Harcourt. Second day of good governance protest. Yes, Doc.
Andy, you are surrounded by, some very eager gentlemen around you there. Would you like to speak to at least one of them? Let's hear from them. One of the protesters.
Absolutely, Doc. Okay, can I have you? Can I just have you? You are going to, this is your camera, introduce yourself, and you need to tell us what this group is and why you are protesting. That's your camera.
Good morning. My name is Comrade Abesebi Oscar. It is unfortunate that we have a government that do not have a listening ear. The masses has come out to protest. There is a demand. Unfortunately, the federal government of Nigeria, led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has refused to pay attention to the demand. This protest is not like an emergency protest. This protest has been rumored for up to 3 weeks or a month today. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually mean well for Nigerians, who were expecting that the demand of the people were all over the internet, the demands of the Nigerians was that there is hunger on the land. The demand of Nigeria is the pump price is on the high side. The demands of Nigeria is that we cannot be able to afford anything in the marketplace again. As we speak, 5,000 naira cannot cook a pot of soup anymore. As we speak, 1,000 naira cannot buy ice fish again. As we speak, things are difficult. Nigerians are suffering. What do we have? No employment is going on. CBN has not done employment. When was the last time CBN did employment? When was the last time NNPC did employment? When was the last time NDDC did employment? When was the last time SMOB did employment? When was the last time NPA did employment? All these federal government parastatals, when was the last time they did employment? If the government meanwhile for the people, who were expecting that before this protest, government would have lifted embargo on the people, lift embargo for employment, lift embargo on hard suffering. If the government actually meanwhile for Nigerians, who were expecting that Bola Ahmed Tinubu would reduce pump price immediately. As we speak, instead of Bola Ahmed to reduce pump price, we are now buying price for the rate of 900 naira, 1,000 naira. It is difficult for us. It is hard for us to survive. We cannot even take care of our responsibilities anymore. We cannot take care of our parents. We cannot even take care of ourselves. So we want Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu to understand that we are not leaving this place until Bola Ahmed Tinubu address the Nigerian masses. Right. We cannot continue. Bola Ahmed yesterday addressed Nigerians, telling Nigerians that he bought the position he is sitting on. Isn't that embarrassing? Absolutely. Telling Nigerians that you bought the position you are sitting on. Is that to address Nigerians? In as much as you are there, and then the next thing you are doing is to tell Nigerians all over the internet that you bought the position you occupy. Okay. We are not happy. Okay. We are going to occupy these days. It might even last more than 10 days.
All Thank you so much.
All right,
so
Andy.
you heard Miss Oscar Imeabe, yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, Andy.
So that's the situation from here, Ayo.
Thank you very much. It's OjyOkpe speaking with you, Andy. Thank you, and continue to bring us up to speed with the situation on ground in Rivers State. Thank you very much indeed. This is what we were discussing earlier today, Ayo Rufai. We were just talking about the fact that we want President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the nation, and you can hear it from the protesters out there on the street. But you know, yesterday there were counter-protests in the Ikeja area of Lagos State and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The pro-government protesters urged Nigerians to be patient with the Tinubu administration while chanting, "On your mandate, we shall stand."
On your mandate, we shall stand. We shall stand. On your mandate, on your mandate, on your mandate, we shall stand. We shall stand.
Meanwhile, some counter-protesters erroneously called for an end to the prevailing economic hardship, as we'll see in this viral video showing a demonstrator who was holding a placard that read, "No to protest." He veered off the script as he spoke to journalists. Let's take a look.
So why we say that no protest? We come to make him to know that we don't need protest. We need peace in this country. Make him consider all that things are very rough with us. There is hunger everywhere. You can't drink Gary now. Before you say, may you drink Gary now, 1,000 will not take you of drinking Gary. Where we say before 100 naira, you will drink Gary and do what you want to do. So now, we are coming to make him to know that things are very hard with us. Let him consider us.
What are you saying? What are you saying? Yeah, we need peace in the country. We don't want problem, but guys, make Gary come down. But you when you don't take Gary come. Gary 2,000. Gary 2,000. Say no protest. No more protest.
Right, so you see, these are pro-government protesters coming out to say, no, I have to say it now, but they were out there on the streets holding no to protest. It's only in Nigeria that you will even see protesters protesting against protest. I mean, they said no to protest, but they're out there screaming, "Ebing power, Dr. But even in Benin, we did see a video.
Protesters agree that there is hunger in the land.
Absolutely.
Even those who oppose the protest, they are of the view that the Tinubu government has to address their grievances. One guy said he collected 5,000 naira. He didn't, 2,000 naira, expecting to get his balance of 3,000 naira. But Kingdom Okere told us that some of them joined the actual protest. But what I see here is that, look, government simply must keep to its promise. But there have been comical sides of the protest. Look at this morning, something, I think it was one of these internet sites, showed one guy dressed as a traditional ruler, traditional priest, and said, look, he's a dibia, but that because of hunger in the land, people are no longer bringing goats. They are no longer bringing eggs. They are no longer bringing sacrificial things. And I said, I thought this traditional priest said they are giving those things to the gods. So it's a matter of hunger for them also. One woman carried placard. He said, now because of government, I never get husband at 37 years.
Look at this.
One man stripped himself naked. Another side of it that we have seen is that in Jos, where the protest was peaceful, Christians went to the praying ground for Muslims, and they were protecting the Muslims to pray. One of those ironies of this protest. But the residual point is that the people's voice have been heard. And people should stay away from misinformation. You showed them Mr. Peter Obi in the video interview that he granted. He has actually written an article. It's titled Addressing Misinformation and Promoting Unity in Nigeria by Peter Obi. I read it this morning. And he was talking about two videos. A video of what he said at an event in honor of Professor Nnonyelu. He said that video was doctored. And then the second video, the one that says he's leading a protest in Abuja. And you find the danger of misinformation. As I pointed out when Adefemi Akisanya was with us. In Britain this morning, there are riots in about 19 cities just because somebody misinformed the people. So there is danger in it, and people must know that misinforming people through digital route is an offense under the Cybercrime Act. So it's not just because you have one miserable phone, you go about misinforming people.
This is the point.
There may be consequences.
There may be consequences.
As the police commissioner was saying in Abuja yesterday.
Well said, Dr. Bati. Talking about misinformation, I believe, one of the protesters there that Andy spoke, we talked about the fact that NNPC is not recruiting. We see a newspaper advertisement here saying that NNPC is recruiting. So you guys put in your application. But as we saw, go ahead.
One day, 6 hours after the open recruitment, the portal crashed.
The portal crashed.
It's lying, because people are desperate. And I love that they staggered. It's come back. But I love that they staggered the age range as well. For one job prospect is 28 years, another is 37 years, which I think is good. Because then we talk about how they put such an unrealistic age range, and so people who are older are unable to apply. So great one there. People go and apply. Many jobs open from NNPC.
Right, absolutely. As we wrap up the coverage from yesterday, I just wanted to highlight this video that they said was in Benin City, where there was looting of a truck of rice that was parked in the Aurora axis near Benin City. Let's take a quick look at that.
See our rice, government give us a call head, we don't locate her. Yeah, now Aurora, see rice everywhere. See rice, tell our friends, not going to carry rice. See rice for Aurora, see rice. See, those states they actually give us, they go hide down, those states they go hide down. Our rice, so see government, see our bad government, see our rice, they dash us.
This issue of rice, it's our rice, Dr. Bati. Come on, it's our, the Edo government.
We do not support loot.
No, we don't.
Governor Baseki addressed them. And it's because of this kind of behavior that we now have curfew.
This is it.
In Yobe, Nasarawa, Kano, and
we don't support looting. Please, there must be peaceful protests. Well, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. But that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.